12.9 degrees, 12.9. And the starting mileage is 55084, 55084. Hey YouTube, gentlemansnine. This is ride number 2 on my way to work. And there's no snow flurries today, so hopefully I can actually make it to work. But I've got like in my right wrist, I got like some, it's not carpal tunnel, I don't think. It's more like tendonitis or something. But boy, trying to twist this throttle is a little bit painful. Not painful, but you can tell it's like on the verge of starting to hurt. But yeah, so yeah, I was lifting weights, and there's 1,000 pounds on my right arm, and I hurt my wrist. That's my story. Or what really happened is I might have been playing a game on my iPhone a little too much. When I say a little too much, I mean a lot. And I might hurt myself. So I want to talk about something today. It's about stuff. How's that for a topic? And so I'll use us as an example. I want to say like probably like 4, 5 years ago, we bought stuff. We were like the whole keeping up with the Joneses thing, and it's very common, especially for people here in the city area. They want to buy stuff, and stuff, for whatever reason, it felt like it gave us status. And you know what? It doesn't. It does not. If anything, it just means you got more stuff. And I was thinking, maybe part of it is because you observe things, but you don't put 2 and 2 together. So here. So let's say, for example, and I can't use names, right? So I'll just say, let's say you find out like friend A got a new car, and friend B went on a trip to Hawaii, and friend C just bought a new house. And you know, I can keep going like this. So now you're thinking, with all these examples, man, like everybody's buying all this stuff, and we ain't got nothing. We just been sitting at home eating like ramen noodles, trying to save money. But if you think about the examples I just gave you, it was person A did this, person B did that, person C did this. And it was 3 different people, and you picked one example out of each one. When in reality, if you really want to say everybody else is doing or buying all this stuff and doing all these things, you should really focus on one person. So even though person A bought this car, they're probably still living in the same house. They didn't go on vacation, whatever. Person B, what did they do? They bought the house, but they're probably driving the same old car. They probably didn't go on vacation, whatever. But for whatever reason, our mind takes all of these single point examples, combines it into one, and just assumes that everybody else is way better than you. Kind of makes sense? That's what I think is going on. And I can relate this to other things too. Whether you want to call it like gun violence, you know, you hear one news story here, and then you hear one news story there, and you hear another news story, and you assume that the whole world is shooting each other. Well, if you take the world as a whole, yeah, maybe. But where you are today, probably not so much. So as far as I know, there's been no, at least where I live, there's not been, knock on wood, a whole lot of gun violence. We have had corruption. Oh, hey, yeah, I should talk about that quick. This last summer, some police officer, his name was Joe something or something Joe. Basically, I guess he was at like some gas station, and he was found like shot, and they assumed like he had pulled somebody over, and then these people, whoever it was, shot him. And so there's this huge manhunt trying to figure out who shot this police officer. And then they had this huge, so the town I live in, and the town I guess that he's from or something, They blocked off all these roads. They put up all these little blue ribbons, and they had this huge, gigantic parade. It was all over the news. I mean, it was a big thing. Hey, one of us got shot, and we have to mourn the loss of one of the people who protect us. And I get it. That's great. I think what police officers do, I think it's a good thing. But a little later on, what they found out was this cop didn't get shot by somebody else. This cop shot himself. He committed suicide. And when they started doing like a little bit of background checking, they found, so he was actually part of like some kind of fraud or embezzlement or something. He was basically stealing money or something. And we celebrated this. We jumped to a conclusion and we celebrated. So it drives me nuts. I can't believe like they blocked off like the main road. There's two roads that there's one road that goes to the south side of our town, and then the main street going right up and down the middle of it. They blocked those two roads off for like 3 or 4 hours or something for this parade. And there's really only one road. Fortunately, we live on that road on the north side to get out. But I mean, come on. Maybe they should do their background checks first to make sure this guy was legit. I mean, I know it's hard to tell, but boy, we have a whole lot of G.I. Joe signs. We're celebrating, or at least mourning his loss, and we find out that he's embezzling money and whatever. Yeah. And yet, hundreds, if not thousands, of innocent people die every day. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get off my soapbox. Probably sounds kind of lame. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Ending mileage 55124, 55124.